echoes of the forest. Emma, Jack, and Lily stepped cautiously into the depths of Whispering Hollow, their eyes wide with anticipation and a touch of fear. The dense forest enveloped them, towering trees stretching towards the sky, their branches entwined in a tangled web of leaves and shadows. The sunlight struggled to penetrate the thick canopy, casting dappled patches of light on the moss-covered ground. As they ventured further into the forest, their footsteps barely audible against the soft forest floor, the air became heavy with a damp, earthy scent. It clung to their clothes, filling their nostrils with each inhale. The silence was almost oppressive, broken only by the distant chirping of birds and the rustling of leaves in the gentle breeze. Emma's heart raced in her chest, a mix of excitement and trepidation coursing through her veins. She felt a tingling sensation on her skin, as if someone or something was watching them from the shadows. A sense of unease settled over her, but she pushed it aside, focusing on the adventure that lay ahead. Jack, ever the rational thinker, tried to dismiss the unease that hung in the air. He attributed it to their overactive imaginations and the eerie setting of Whispering Hollow. His analytical mind sought logical explanations for everything, often dismissing anything supernatural or paranormal. "Come on, guys," Jack said with a chuckle, trying to lighten the mood. "It's just a forest. There's nothing to be afraid of." Lily, usually full of energy and enthusiasm, clung tightly to Emma's arm. Her usually bright eyes were wide with both wonder and fear as she took in her surroundings. A shiver ran down her spine despite the humid air surrounding them. "Do you feel that too?" Lily whispered, her voice barely audible above the faint whispers of the wind. Emma nodded, squeezing Lily's hand reassuringly. "I do. But let's keep going. We're here for a reason, remember." The trio continued their trek through the forest, their curiosity urging them forward despite their growing unease. Moss and ivy clung to the trunks of trees like nature's embrace, reclaiming what was once human territory. It gave an impression of forgotten secrets waiting to be discovered. Their cautious steps led them deeper into Whispering Hollow, where the quiet whispers of the wind brushed against their ears like ghostly fingertips. The hairs on Emma's arms stood on end as she walked further along the worn path. She couldn't shake the feeling that eyes were watching them from behind every tree. Suddenly, a rustling sound came from somewhere nearby, causing all three friends to freeze in their tracks. Their breath caught in their throats as they turned towards the source of the noise. Shadows danced on the forest floor as if mocking them, taunting them with unseen dangers. "What was that?" Jack asked, his voice filled with a tinge of skepticism that betrayed his own unease. Emma bit her lip nervously, searching for any sign of movement amidst the dense foliage. Her mind raced with possibilities: wild animals, other explorers, or could it be something more sinister? "I'm not sure," Emma whispered back, her voice barely above a hushed murmur. "But we need to stay focused on our mission." Jack nodded reluctantly, his skepticism momentarily overshadowed by their shared purpose. He knew that uncovering secrets meant facing uncertainties and embracing possibilities he couldn't always explain. They continued onward through Whispering Hollow until they stumbled upon an abandoned cabin nestled between ancient trees. Its wooden structure was weathered and worn, covered in layers of moss and ivy that seemed to have taken years to accumulate. The cabin exuded an eerie aura that sent chills down their spines. Emma approached cautiously, her eyes scanning every inch of the cabin's exterior for any signs of danger or life. The door creaked open with haunting echo, as if beckoning them inside. With trembling hands, she pushed it further open. Inside, the cabin was dimly lit by slivers of sunlight filtering through gaps in the woodwork. Dust particles danced in the air like ethereal spirits as Emma's eyes landed on old journals stacked neatly on a nearby shelf. She leaned closer to examine them, her fingers itching with anticipation as she reached out for one of them. The brittle pages crackled softly beneath her touch as she delicately opened it. "Guys," Emma called out softly over her shoulder. "You won't believe what I've found." And so, their journey into Whispering Hollow had only just begun. Emma, Jack, and Lily huddled around the campfire at their makeshift campsite, the flames casting flickering shadows on their anxious faces. The night was still, enveloping them in an eerie silence broken only by occasional rustling sounds from the surrounding forest. They spread out the journals before them, their faded pages filled with tales of strange encounters and tragic disappearances that had occurred within Whispering Hollow over the years. Each story painted a vivid picture of the curse that had plagued the woods for generations, fueling their curiosity and trepidation. Emma's eyes scanned the words on the worn pages, her heart sinking with each heartbreaking tale of loss and despair. She couldn't help but imagine the fear and anguish experienced by those who had encountered the forest wraith, the malevolent spirits said to haunt these very woods. "This can't be real," Jack muttered, his voice tinged with skepticism as he flipped through another journal. "There has to be a logical explanation for all of this." Emma closed her eyes for a moment, feeling a mix of frustration and understanding towards Jack's rationality. She knew his need for evidence and scientific proof, but she couldn't deny the undeniable presence of something supernatural that lingered in the air. "But Jack," Emma began, her voice gentle yet firm, "these stories can't just be dismissed. There are too many accounts from reliable sources, people who experienced these things firsthand." Lily nodded in agreement, her eyes wide with both terror and fascination. "Yeah, there's got to be some truth to these legends, right?" Jack sighed, his brows furrowing as he reluctantly admitted, "I guess you're right. It just goes against everything I've always believed in. But we can't ignore what we've seen and felt here." Emma reached out to squeeze Jack's hand reassuringly, offering silent support in their shared pursuit of uncovering the truth. As much as she empathized with his skepticism, she couldn't ignore the unsettling experiences they had already encountered in Whispering Hollow. "Maybe," Emma suggested cautiously, "we should consider combining our beliefs and strengths. Find a way to approach this scientifically, while also acknowledging the possibility of something beyond our understanding." Jack's eyes met Emma's with a glimmer of hope, his analytical mind processing her words. He knew he couldn't dismiss their experiences outright anymore. The evidence was mounting before him in the form of these haunting tales. "You're right," he finally conceded with a nod. "We need to approach this with an open mind and see where it leads us." An uneasy silence settled over them as they absorbed their conversation, feeling the weight of responsibility resting on their shoulders. The forest seemed to grow eerily quiet around them, as if listening intently to their deliberations. Suddenly, a bone-chilling howl pierced through the night air, cutting through their contemplative silence like a jagged knife. Their hearts skipped a beat as goosebumps rose on their arms. Emma's grip tightened on Jack's hand as she glanced nervously towards the forest. "We can't ignore this any longer. Something is out there, waiting for us." Jack took a deep breath, squaring his shoulders with determination. "You're right," he replied firmly. "We came here for answers, and we won't find them by hiding or turning back now." Lily looked between Emma and Jack with wide eyes, her voice trembling slightly as she spoke up. "So, what do we do next?" Emma turned to face her friends, her expression resolute despite her underlying fear. "We follow these legends to their source," she declared. "We find the sacred grove mentioned in that hidden compartment of the journal." Jack nodded in agreement, fully committed to their shared mission. "If there's any chance of understanding this curse and putting an end to it, we have to confront whatever lies within that grove." Lily swallowed hard, but nodded bravely. She knew they were embarking on a dangerous path, but she trusted Emma and Jack implicitly. Together, they formed an unbreakable bond, united not only by friendship, but by their shared determination to uncover the truth behind Whispering Hollow's curse. As they packed up their campsite and prepared to set off towards the sacred grove marked on the map they had found earlier. Anticipation swirled within them like a gathering storm. They knew they were about to encounter unimaginable perils and face their deepest fears head-on. But they also knew that their strength lay not only in individual skills and knowledge, but also in the unwavering trust they had built among themselves. With one resounding breath, they stepped forward into the unknown, ready to face whatever darkness Whispering Hollow had in store for them. And so began their journey deeper into the haunted forest, guided by whispers of ancient legends and fueled by an unyielding determination to break its curse once and for all. As Emma delicately turned the pages of the journal, her eyes widened with each passing entry. The words etched onto the brittle paper told stories of desperate attempts to lift the curse that had plagued Whispering Hollow for centuries. There were tales of sacrifice and loss, of brave souls venturing into the heart of the forest in search of answers, but none who had succeeded. "This can't be happening," Jack muttered under his breath, his voice tinged with a mix of disbelief and apprehension. "We can't just dismiss this as some elaborate hoax." Emma glanced up from the journal, her gaze meeting Jack's. She could see the conflict in his eyes, torn between his rationality and the undeniable evidence that stared back at him. "I know it's hard to believe," Emma said softly, her voice filled with empathy. "But there's something here, Jack. Something that can't be explained by science alone." Jack sighed, running a hand through his messy black hair in frustration. He wanted so desperately to find a logical explanation for everything they had experienced, to fit it into a neat and tidy box that aligned with his skeptical worldview. But deep down, he knew that the mysteries of Whispering Hollow defied ordinary explanations. Lily, her wide-eyed gaze fixed on Emma and Jack, interrupted their silent conversation. "So what do we do now? How do we break this curse?" Emma closed the journal, a determined glint in her piercing blue eyes. "We need to find the source of this curse," she replied resolutely. "According to these journals, there is a sacred grove hidden deep within Whispering Hollow. Legend has it that it holds the key to lifting the curse." Jack frowned, his analytical mind working overtime to process this new information. "And how do we find this grove? Is there a map or something?" A small smile tugged at the corners of Emma's lips as she nodded towards a worn-looking piece of parchment lying nearby. "As a matter of fact, I believe there is," she said, reaching for the map she had discovered earlier. The trio gathered around as Emma unfurled the map, revealing intricate markings and cryptic symbols. It depicted a winding path leading through dense foliage until it reached a clearing marked with an ancient oak tree. "We follow this path," Emma explained, tracing her finger along the faded lines on the map. "It will guide us to the sacred grove." With renewed determination flickering in their eyes, they packed up their campsite and set off deeper into the heart of Whispering Hollow. Every step they took brought them closer to their ultimate goal, to confront the forest wraith and rid the forest of its curse once and for all. As they ventured further along the path illuminated by dying sunlight filtering through towering trees, their senses heightened with anticipation. The whispering wind grew louder, carrying with it echoes of unseen spirits caught between realms. Emma couldn't shake the feeling that their every move was being watched. Shadows danced on the forest floor, as if harboring secrets long buried within the depths of Whispering Hollow. Jack's rational mind struggled against rising unease as he scanned their surroundings with keen eyesight. His skepticism faded ever so slightly as he realized that logic alone couldn't explain what lay before them. Lily clung tightly to Emma's arm, her grip increasingly tremulous as fear gnawed at her heart. Yet she drew strength from her friend's unwavering resolve and refused to let it consume her. Just as twilight began to cast its ethereal glow through the thick canopy overhead, they reached a small clearing bathed in an otherworldly light. And standing before them was an ancient oak tree, its gnarled branches reaching skyward like beckoning fingers. The air around them grew still, charged with an energy they couldn't quite comprehend. It felt as though time itself held its breath, waiting for destiny to unfold. Emma took a deep breath, her voice filled with determination as she spoke words that echoed through the silence. "This is where it all begins," she said, her eyes never wavering from their destination. With resolute steps and intertwined hands, they approached the ancient oak tree, a gateway to their uncertain fate. Their courage and resilience reverberated through the forest, challenging its malevolent secrets. "Are you ready?" Emma asked, her voice steady despite the weight of their mission. Jack exchanged glances with Lily and nodded firmly. "We've come too far to turn back now," he replied. Lily squeezed Emma's hand tightly and mustered all her bravery as she smiled bravely. "Let's face whatever lies ahead together." And so, as moonlight began to cast its silvery glow upon their path, they stepped into the sacred grove, an unbreakable bond forged by friendship and an unyielding determination to break the curse that had haunted Whispering Hollow for far too long. Little did they know that their journey had only just begun. Unknown perils awaited them in the shadows, demanding their strength and courage like never before. However, armed with resilience and guided by whispers of long-forgotten legends, Emma, Jack, and Lily ventured deeper into Whispering Hollow, united in their quest to bring light to its darkest secrets and free not only themselves but generations yet to come from its malevolent grasp. Their future remained uncertain, but one thing was clear. Destiny awaited their arrival amidst cursed whispers and echoes of the forest. Back at their campsite, Emma, Jack, and Lily huddled together around the flickering campfire. The night was calm, its stillness only broken by occasional rustling sounds from the surrounding forest. Their faces were illuminated by the warm glow of the fire, casting dancing shadows upon their anxious expressions. Spread out before them were the old journals they had discovered in the abandoned cabin. Emma gingerly turned the pages, each one revealing more tales of strange encounters and tragic disappearances that had occurred within Whispering Hollow over the years. The stories painted a vivid picture of a curse that seemed to cling to every inch of the haunted forest. Emma's eyes scanned the faded words on the brittle pages, her heart sinking with each heartbreaking account she read. The pain and suffering described in these journals were palpable, leaving an indelible mark on her empathetic soul. "Now I understand why this place feels so heavy," she murmured, her voice tinged with both fear and determination. Jack's analytical mind worked overtime as he pored over the journals, searching for a rational explanation for the events described within. He couldn't deny the mounting evidence before him, yet his scientific worldview refused to fully embrace the supernatural. "This is all just folklore and superstition," he muttered under his breath. "There has to be some logical explanation for these occurrences." Lily glanced between Emma and Jack, her wide eyes reflecting both fascination and trepidation. Her usual exuberance had been replaced by a more cautious curiosity. "But what if there's some truth to these legends?" she asked tentatively. "What if there really is a curse?" Emma gave Lily a reassuring smile, understanding her friend's confusion and fears. "It's hard to say for sure," she replied gently. "But one thing is certain, people have experienced unexplainable things here in Whispering Hollow. We can't just ignore their stories." Jack sighed, running a hand through his messy black hair in frustration. He wanted to find a logical explanation for everything they had encountered, a scientific theory that could neatly explain away the mysteries of Whispering Hollow. But deep down, he knew that reality wasn't always so simple. "I suppose you're right," Jack admitted reluctantly. "These stories can't be ignored outright. There must be something going on here that goes beyond our current understanding." Emma nodded in agreement, grateful that Jack was beginning to open his mind to possibilities beyond his scientific realm. "Exactly," she said softly. "We have to consider all angles if we want to uncover the truth." The trio fell into an uneasy silence as they absorbed the weight of their discoveries. The forest seemed to grow ever darker around them, as if aware of their deliberations and secrets. Suddenly, A bone-chilling howl pierced through the night, causing their hearts to skip a beat. Goosebumps rose on their arms as the noise echoed through the trees, sending shivers down their spines. Emma's hand instinctively reached out to grasp Jack's forearm, seeking comfort and reassurance. "We can't ignore this any longer," she said firmly. Jack tightened his grip on Emma's hand, his eyes resolute as he nodded in agreement. "You're right," he replied. "It's time we face whatever lies ahead." Lily bit her lip nervously, but determination flickered in her eyes as well. "We can't let our fear stop us from finding answers," she said with newfound courage. Emma smiled warmly at her friends, grateful for their unwavering support. They had come so far together, facing each challenge head-on with resilience and trust. With renewed conviction burning within them, they began to pack up their campsite, their hands moving with purposeful urgency. The mysterious grove mentioned in the hidden compartment of one of the journals beckoned them onward, a pathway to the heart of Whispering Hollow and its secrets. As they prepared to set off once more into the haunted forest, Emma couldn't help but feel a mixture of anticipation and fear swirling within her. They were stepping into unknown territory, venturing further into the darkness than anyone had dared before. But she knew deep down that they were meant for this journey, bound by friendship and a shared mission to break the curse that had plagued Whispering Hollow for far too long. As they extinguished the campfire and shouldered their backpacks filled with supplies, Emma glanced back at their campsite one last time. The fire had died down completely now, leaving only lingering embers, a symbol of their resilience amidst the encroaching darkness. "Are you ready?" Emma asked softly, her voice barely above a whisper. Jack met her gaze with determination shining in his eyes. "Absolutely," he replied resolutely. Lily took a deep breath and nodded bravely. "Let's do this together," she said, her voice filled with newfound strength. And with hearts full of resolve and minds teeming with unanswered questions, they set off once more into Whispering Hollow, drawn by cursed whispers and echoes of the forest. Little did they know that their journey would soon take them deeper into darkness than they had ever imagined, challenging not only their beliefs, but also their very existence. But armed with friendship as their guiding light, they walked forward into the unknown, united in their quest to bring light to Whispering Hollow's darkest secrets and free themselves from its malevolent grasp once and for all. As the chirping of crickets and distant hooting of owls filled the night air, Emma, Jack, and Lily gathered around the campfire, their faces illuminated by the flickering flames. The old journals lay scattered before them, their pages filled with tales that sent shivers down their spines. Emma's heart pounded in her chest as she absorbed the chilling stories. The vivid descriptions of encounters with the forest wraith and other supernatural entities left her both fearful and intrigued. She leaned closer to the fire, seeking comfort in its warmth as her mind raced with possibilities. Jack's analytical mind worked tirelessly as he studied the worn pages. He scrutinized every detail, searching for patterns or explanations that could align with his scientific reasoning. But as he read through the accounts of unexplained phenomena, doubts began to creep into his thoughts. "It doesn't make sense," Jack muttered to himself, frustration evident in his voice. "I can't find any logical explanation for these events." Lily shivered despite the heat of the fire, her gaze fixated on the journal she held in her hands. Her imagination ran wild as she envisioned the horrors described within its pages. Yet she couldn't tear her eyes away, drawn to the mysteries that awaited them in Whispering Hollow. Emma glanced at Jack, a mixture of concern and understanding in her eyes. She knew that his skeptical nature was clashing with the overwhelming evidence they had encountered. But she also knew that something far beyond their comprehension was at play in this haunted forest. "Jack," Emma began softly, turning to face him. "Sometimes there are things in this world that defy logic. We can't always explain everything with science alone." Jack sighed and ran a hand through his hair, his green eyes flickering with uncertainty. "I know," he admitted reluctantly. but it's hard for me to accept something so supernatural. Emma placed a reassuring hand on Jack's arm, offering him support. We don't have to completely reject science, she said gently. But we can't ignore what we've experienced here either. Sometimes the answers lie outside our realm of understanding. A moment of silence enveloped the trio as they contemplated the weight of their discoveries. Shadows danced around them, cast by the flickering flames of the campfire and whispering trees. Just as the tension seemed almost unbearable, a soft breeze rustled through the forest. It carried with it a faint melody, a haunting tune that set their nerves on edge. Emma's heart skipped a beat as she recognized the tune from one of the journal entries. It spoke of a song sung by lost souls, a cry for release from the eternal darkness that haunted Whispering Hollow. We have to find the source of that song, Emma declared, excitement tingling through her veins. It may hold the key to breaking this curse. Jack furrowed his brows, deep in thought. As much as he wanted to dismiss it all as mere folklore, he couldn't deny the compelling evidence before him. I suppose it's worth investigating, Jack conceded begrudgingly. If there is any chance of finding a rational explanation within these legends, we need to follow every lead. Lily nodded enthusiastically, her eyes shining with determination. She had felt an inexplicable connection to the haunting melody and was eager to uncover its origins. With renewed purpose, they closed the journals and prepared to set off deeper into Whispering Hollow once more. They knew their journey would only grow more treacherous from here on out, but their bond remained unbreakable. As they stood up from their spots around the dwindling campfire, Emma's voice resonated with resolve. "Let's stay together and trust our instincts," she said firmly. "We can navigate this darkness together." Jack and Lily nodded in agreement, their commitment to one another evident in their eyes. They knew that their combined strength and unwavering friendship would be crucial in facing whatever lay ahead. With backpacks secured tightly on their shoulders and courage fueling their steps, they ventured further into the heart of Whispering Hollow, guided by echoes of a haunting melody and propelled by an unyielding desire for answers. And so, under a moonlit sky that cast eerie shadows upon their path, Emma, Jack, and Lily set forth deeper into cursed whispers and echoes of the forest, aware that untold dangers awaited, but determined to uncover the truth lurking within these haunted woods. Their journey had only just begun, and with each step forward, they drew closer to unlocking Whispering Hollow's secrets that could change not only their own lives, but also the fate of those who had been trapped in its grasp for centuries. Little did they know that an ancient evil watched their every move from within the shadows, anticipating their arrival with bated breath and sinister intent. But armed with courage and trust forged through countless trials together, Emma, Jack, and Lily braved Whispering Hollow's depths, ready to confront both external terrors and their own internal demons along the way. For within cursed whispers and echoes of the forest lie not only darkness and danger, but also hope and redemption, waiting patiently for those willing to face their fears and challenge fate itself. Night had fallen upon Whispering Hollow, its darkness punctuated only by the faint glow of stars peering through the dense canopy overhead. Emma, Jack, and Lily continued their journey through the haunted forest, their steps cautious yet determined. The chilling wind rustled through the trees, whispering secrets that sent shivers down their spines. The sound seemed to carry a sense of urgency, urging them forward as if the forest itself yearned for release from its cursed existence. With each passing moment, the air grew thicker, charged with an unexplainable energy. The trio felt as though they were walking on the edge of two worlds, reality and the unknown, as if their presence in this place tethered them to both. Emma's heart raced in her chest as they approached a clearing bathed in pale moonlight. In its center stood a circle of ancient stones, weathered and worn by time. The stones seemed to emanate a faint glow, drawing their gaze like a beacon. "It's calling to us," Emma whispered, her voice barely audible above the gentle breeze. "We have to go closer." Jack's analytical mind observed the scene before them, searching for any logical explanation. But even his skepticism wavered in the face of such palpable mysticism. "I can't explain it," Jack admitted, his voice laced with a mix of awe and uncertainty. "But there's something undeniably powerful about this place." Lily clutched Emma's hand tightly, her eyes wide with both fear and anticipation. She looked from one friend to another, finding solace in their shared resolve. "We've come this far," Lily said, her voice steady despite her trembling body. "We can't turn back now." With a deep breath, Emma led the way towards the circle of stones, her eyes fixed on their mysterious glow. Each step felt heavy with purpose, as if they were moving closer to an answer that had eluded them for so long. As they entered the circle, a surge of energy pulsed through their bodies. The air crackled with electricity, causing their hair to stand on end. They exchanged nervous glances, but their determination did not falter. In the center of the stone circle stood an ancient pedestal, its surface etched with symbols long forgotten by time. Upon it lay a delicate silver key, glimmering under the moonlight, as if it held the power to unlock worlds beyond imagination. Emma reached out tentatively, her hand trembling as she touched the key. A jolt of energy coursed through her veins, filling her with a sense of purpose, unlike anything she had ever experienced. This is what we've been searching for," Emma whispered, her voice filled with awe. "This key holds the answers we seek." Jack's analytical mind sprang into action once more as he examined the key from every angle. Its intricate design spoke of ancient craftsmanship and hidden knowledge waiting to be uncovered. "What do you think it unlocks?" Jack pondered aloud, his green eyes narrowing in thought. Emma's brows furrowed as she considered his question. She glanced towards the towering trees surrounding them and shivered at the thought of what lurked within their shadows. "I believe this key unlocks more than just physical barriers," Emma replied softly. "It holds the power to unlock our own courage and resilience, to face whatever darkness lies ahead." Lily watched them both intently, her blue eyes reflecting determination and a touch of fear. She understood that their journey had brought them here for a reason, that they were meant to uncover the truth and bring an end to Whispering Hollow's curse. "Then let's use it," Lily said bravely, reaching out to join their hands around the key. "Together, we can overcome anything." As their hands closed around the key, an ethereal light emanated from within it. The circle of stones lit up with an otherworldly glow, a testament to their unwavering bond and shared purpose. With hearts full of hope and hands joined tightly, Emma, Jack, and Lily lifted the key high above their heads. Their unified strength resonated throughout Whispering Hollow, breaking through the darkness that had plagued it for centuries. A blinding flash engulfed them as a portal materialized before them, a gateway leading to a future where curses would be broken and legends silenced forever. Without hesitation, they stepped through the portal together into an unknown world awaiting their arrival. They knew that challenges lay ahead, but armed with their profound connection and an unyielding spirit, they were ready to face whatever awaited them on the other side. And so began their true journey into cursed whispers and echoes of the forest, a journey that would test their limits and reshape their understanding of reality. But united by friendship and armed with purpose, Emma, Jack, and Lily ventured forth, guided by the silver key that unlocked not only doors, but also hearts, ready to shape their own destiny amidst whispers that echoed through time itself.